When it comes to ASTRAEOS, rat holes can be difficult to find, so I proudly present top 10 best rat holes on ASTRAEOS. Coming at number 10, this can be found at 62.4 latitude and 62.4 longitude. Kind of a weird coordinate thing. Anyways, this can be found over on the brand new Volcano Island. Simply look over here for these little Wyvern hexagon little things, and you'll find that there is a little opening on the back. It's pretty easy to spot, it's pretty simple. Now this rat hole isn't anything too crazy. Again, this list goes from worst to best. These are just the top 10 best rat holes that I could really find. I honestly couldn't really find any more, but there should be a couple more that come out. But yeah, overall, this rat hole's okay. It's nothing too crazy though. But yeah, let's get on to number 9. This video is sponsored by Mitra 9. Mitra 9 is a kava and kratom seltzer company which provides an alternative to alcohol. These drinks give you a high, but without the impairment. They have a ton of great flavors, my favorite being tropical. Simply go to mitra9.com and use my code Outcasts and you will get 25% off your entire order. If you're looking for a great alternative to coffee or just a way to get you going in the morning, Mitra is definitely the way to go. Now, back to the video. Coming at number 9, this can be found at 10.0 latitude and 16.1 longitude. And then there it is on the map. Now this is going to be a very weird rat hole, but just kind of bear with me. So, underneath this guy's, I guess, skirt or dress, as you can call it, there's a little bit of a rat hole under here. Now, yes, it's kind of a weird place to kind of live in, but overall, I mean, it's not a horrible spot. It's a nice little hidden spot, and there's about 4 of these on the map. So, yeah, you're pretty much living in this guy's butt crack. So, yeah, never really thought I'd be saying that on ARK, but hey, there you go. Coming at number 8, this can be found at 15.0 latitude and 44.7 longitude. And then there it is on the map. Now this is known as the Wyvern Swamp Trench. This is basically the main spot where you get Wyvern eggs, but you can actually build in here. There's no limits on it. There's nothing really stopping you from building in here as of now, so who knows, it might get patched. But for now, there's a nice little rat hole hidden away behind these little Wyvern hexagon things again. This one's actually really hard to spot too. But again, it's nothing too crazy. There isn't like a crazy amount of room in here. But if you're like a solo or a duo looking for a nice tiny little spot to just temporarily live in, this is a decent but pretty dangerous spot. But just know, if you're living in here, people really aren't going to be messing with you because they just don't want to deal with the wyverns. So yeah, not a bad spot. Coming in number 7, this can be found at 10.3 latitude and 15.5 longitude. Then here it is on the map. Now this can be found right up here on these, whoa, I started speaking a different language there. On this golden palace kind of thing at the very top of the highest little mountain as of right now. So over here, this little area does have a good amount of rat holes, which you'll see here in a couple minutes. But yeah, here's the first one. I guess they just kind of forgot to patch this little area and it opens up into a good little room. It's very tall, but you can't fit anything too crazy like an Indie Forge or a Replicator. But still, overall, it's not a bad rat hole at all. Coming at number 6, this can be found at 54.3 latitude and 63.2 longitude. Then there it is on the map. Now this can be found over on the Volcanic / I guess Wasteland Island again. And this one can be found right over here. Simply fly under here and you'll find a nice little opening that opens up into a decent sized room. You know, it's nothing too crazy again, but there's not that many rat holes on this map, so I had to kind of go with some of the like rat holes for a minute. But I'm telling you, these rat holes get a lot better. Just give it like a minute or two. The last 5 are absolutely insane. But yeah, figured that I'd toss this one in here. It's a nice little solo or a duo spot. Coming at number 5, this can be found at 8.5 latitude and 9.9 longitude. Then here it is on the map. Now this rat hole is actually a better one, but it still isn't crazy. Now there's just not a ton of room to really work with in here, but if you can defend that entrance off, it will make for a pretty decent spot for a smaller tribe. If you have plenty of room in here to fit, you know, fabricators, not replicators, cannot fit a tech rep in here. But you can fit fabricators, smithies, some forges, maybe an indie forge right here, maybe. I doubt it though. But yeah, I mean, overall, it's a nice little small rat hole. Coming at number 4, this can be found at 64.5 latitude and 59.8 longitude, and then here it is on the map. Now this can be found over on the Volcanic Island again, and this is a bit of a tricky spot to live in. Now there's a lot of little death zones behind this lava barrier, but there's a pretty big one that just wasn't really touched, meaning that you're able to actually live in here. It actually is 2. The first one being right here, which is this giant platform. You can technically live on here, but I wouldn't really mess with it because the lava will kind of hit you in some portions. But down here, the lava doesn't really touch you at all. And as you can see next to that foundation, you have a lot of room in here. You can easily fit a replicator or an indie forge, and a lot of players just aren't even going to know that you're here. As long as you have your turrets on low, people really aren't going to be messing with you, and it does make for a pretty good spot. Coming at number 3, this can be found at 10.6 latitude and 17.4 longitude, and then here it is on the map. Now this can be found up here at the Gold Palace again. Simply come right over here on this little sidewall, and this is a very, very difficult rat hole to get into, but it is a very overpowered rat hole. Now the only way to really get in here from what I can see is with a Pelagornis, and I did test it. It does actually work pretty simply too. I mean, you don't really have to get them like in like a proper spot. Anywhere in there, and you're able to just ride on them, and then you can easily just get into this entire area. Now this area does span a good amount of room. It goes 2 different ways. Just know this is probably going to be a bannable rat hole on official servers, as well as this one is going to get patched. I'm already calling it. They're going to patch this rat hole. It's just a little bit too overpowered. So yeah, here's your first room. But you know, it's really just nothing too crazy. It's just really long. You can't really build like any forged rep over there. On this side, you might be able to a little bit, but it's still going to be a little bit tricky just because the ceilings aren't like super tall. But yeah, it does kind of keep going. I mean, it's pretty much infinite. It goes all the way down here. But yeah, overall, not a horrible spot, but the walls are a little bit too narrow to really work with. Coming at number 2, this can be found at 9.4 latitude and 15.9 longitude, and then here it is on the map. Now this can be found over on the Gold Palace again. Simply come right over here on this wall. And by the way, I don't know if this is called the Gold Palace. If you guys do know a name for this, leave it in the comments down below so I can kind of learn a little bit more. I'm still trying to learn this map. But yeah, over here, your player can barely squeeze in here. You got to kind of maneuver your player, right? But then it opens up into a massive rat hole. You can fit indie forges, replicators, anything that you're really going to need in here pretty comfortably too. You have a good amount of flat room, as well as this one just kind of keeps going on and on and on both ways, again like that last one. So right down here, as you can see, tiny little narrow opening, but it does open up over here, and you get to just keep going down. Now this side doesn't go as far as the other side. I'll show you that other side really quick. Yeah, here's your main section where we just came in. And by the way, getting in and out of here is pretty easy. Just use a grapple. It's nice and simple. Now, it is a little tricky to figure out, but you can fly straight up over here. And then there's a narrow opening. I only showed about half of it, though. It does kind of keep going. So, up to you if you want to build in here or not. Coming at number 1, kind of 1.5, this can be found at 49.7 latitude and 46.3 longitude. Now, I said 1.5 because we do have a bonus rat hole right after this. So, just stay tuned for that. This one can be found underwater. Super easy to find. Just look for the giant clamshell and then come straight down on the left side of it. Now this rat hole is actually pretty overpowered. It has a good amount of room. It has a tiny little entrance. You can easily just kind of put some, it's just some spam turrets outside and easily keep that there. Now inside you have room to fit literally everything that you're ever going to need. You have just an insane amount of room, as well as some actual air pockets, which is kind of cool. Now, a lot of underwater spots don't really have that. Now you're going to be building with the vacuum compartments, of course, but hey, it does make for a pretty phenomenal base spot. Finally, coming at number, I guess, bonus, this can be found at 49.7 latitude and 46.3 longitude, and this can be found underwater. Now this rat hole is absolutely insane. I'm shocked that they have not patched this because this one's been out for a good amount of time. This one might get patched, but if it doesn't, man, this thing's overpowered. Tiny little entrance, easy to, just keep people out. As long as you spam this entire entrance area with turrets, I'm telling you, this thing's practically unrateable. Now, the reason why this is at number 1 or just bonus rat hole is because of the sheer size of this thing. So as you can see, here's your first little room. Nothing too crazy. There you can fit a couple things in here, but that's not really where you're going to be living. As you can see, right as you go down here, it opens up into this absolutely massive rat hole. You have pretty much infinite room in here. You're not going to run out of room, I can promise you that, unless you're breeding like 1,000 dinos. But yeah, so that's your entire rat hole. It does kind of keep going in the back too. It just keeps going on and on and on. But yeah, pretty insane rat hole. Anyways, that's it for today's video. Hope you guys did enjoy. Don't forget to leave a like if you're new and hit that subscribe button. And don't forget to go check out Mitra9. Thanks for watching.